Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Aurogiri, and today we are doing a guide. So for those who are unaware of every little stream that happened yesterday, we did get the Leviathan slash Purgatory update yesterday. Really cool update, new mounts, new wardings, etc. One other thing that's in this warding, or this event, sorry. In the shopping plaza in the Nyankoropon, they have the Monsoon Magatamas. They're not new, per se, it's just they're here. I think they might have come around before. I believe they're in the Leviathan lineup. They're in the paid OC version, and I think the normal OC version as well. Yeah, the free OC. They're in here. So you get a Monsoon Magatama, and I think they're all Monsoon. Thundercloud, Nugget, Monsoon, Goldstorm, Nugget. Yeah, so these things are in there, and I managed to get my my spear one, and what that is this mag is basically they've existed for holy and fire and every other element, mountain, wind, a whole bunch of different varieties, and this one is for rain, so I'm particularly interested in it. And as I was rolling for Leviathan, I did get my hands on quite a number of them, and I wanted to make a guide on how you would process these mags, because you only get like one ball per roll. Like I got one, or I got, like, if you get the spear one, the axe spear one like I did, it's going to come with a thunderstorm gold nugget. But then half of them come with nuggets and half of them come with thunderstorm cloud fragments. And generally you'd want to get one of these mags, preferably the weapon type you play. So for me, I play spear, so I'm going to focus on the spear one. I'm going to completely ignore the sword odachi one. I'm going to ignore the wand staff one. And I am going to ignore the bow twin sword one, just because for me I focus on spear. Personally, I think I don't really know if anyone should really make the sword odachi one, because they don't really have much rain outside of event skills, but twin and bow can really use it, spear and axe can really use it, and wand and staff can really use it. This mag, since rain is available on axe in the forms of Splasher Sublime, Spear has all the rain in the world, Wand has a lot of rain, and Staff has Rain Sublimes, Rain of Judgment. Really cool, really good options. You know, Aqua Needle, Misty Massacre, etc. Yeah, every class can really make use of this except for Sword and Odachi, but there are exceptions with event Ogis and event skills, etc., etc. But more often than not, these mags really benefit off of multi-hit moves, because it's basically a damage multiplier given on a Magatama to your weaponry, which is always really good. And generally I find damage multiplier weapons do not really benefit from single hit moves. Like if you had a single hit move that did damage cap, like Verdant Storm, let's say, and you managed to hit your Verdant Storm for an extra 1 million, yeah, it's good, it's an extra 1 million, and you're doing 10 million instead of 99 million, but at the end of the day, you're better off just using the skill again. But in a case where you're using like Spear to have Whirlwind Thrust, or even Whirlwind Thrust Sublime, and you had like the Wind multiplier like we do on the Grace weapons, that damage is actually ludicrous, because the move ticks 10 times, and you're getting 10 extra million damage per skill usage, instead of using a single hit move that only hits one and adds, like, it basically boosts your damage by 10%, and it's 10% a tick, and these are really, really, really good for multi-hit moves. So for Sword and Odachi, they can use it to some degree with like Ausame Wave and things like that, Vertex, but this is the Rain one is really going to really benefit classes like Spear with Tidal Wave Sublime, Water Dragon Sublime, Bow with Aqua Needle that hits 7 times, Misty Massacre hits 7 times, you know, Rain of Judgment hits how many times, how many Rain of Judgments can you set up at a time. You can actually do a lot of really, really good damage with Staff with this mag. If you do manage to get it. Rain of Judgment Sublime hits so much. Rain of Judgment hits so much. You can stack Rain of Judgment 5, 6, 7, have them all running at the same time, and just have all this continuous DPS happening. Really, really, really cool stuff. And Wand, of course, has Aqua Geyser, Aqua Bubble Strike, and there's another one. There's Arrow Flock, which is also multi-hit rain. So really, really, really cool options. Really cool options. So this is where you get it, and generally what you want to do is, in my possession, just to look at my inventory really quickly, because I want to try and show you guys more stuff as I talk instead of just talking. Recently, as I rolled, if we look at our mags, I think that'd be an easier way to look at stuff. I managed to get 3 Axe Spear Monsoon mags, 2 Bow Twin Monsoon mags, and 2 Odachi Sword Monsoon mags. So in a total, I've gotten 7 Monsoon mags. So just to look at it, what it does again. Sorry I didn't talk about it earlier. I talked about it in brief, but to specifically go over it, it's a 15 chakra mag with 3 ornamentation slots. A bonus of 1 damage is dealt depending on the value of rain element during a critical hit at the rate of 10%. Just to note that during a critical hit does not actually mean your own critical hit. What it means is that this 10% is a pseudo critical hit value. It's an additional critical value. So what it means is every hit you do on this mag has a 10% trigger rate to deal an additional, it says 1 damage, but realistically that is 10% damage, and that has an upper cap of like 1.25 million damage on average. I think it depends on the mag itself, but for most weapons that do have damage multipliers and stuff, it's generally a 1.25 million, or on things like White Brilliance it's even double that, because there are 2 damage multipliers, and you will see like an additional 2.5 million extra damage a tick. So those things really, really, really add up. And generally they're only on weapons, but if you can use that with mags, generally, let's say you went in with a Monsoon mag and some silhouettes or some bamboo weaves, for rain, the higher your rain element is, the more it's going to do. So if you stack all this stuff accordingly, you can actually put out some ridiculous DPS, especially when it comes to things like Tidal Wave Sublime. And even Vanguards that have a lot of multi-hit. Like, either, before I did say, like, discount, like, Sword and Odachi at base, but with Vanguards, anything is possible. And realistically, even if you only had one of these mags, like, if you only had Sword Odachi, but you wanted to use it, you never got any other Monsoon mags, you play Spear, you can use it. The only difference is you're not going to gain a little bit of extra affinity. The mag itself does not prevent you from using it, even though you're not gaining the optimal affinity boost from the mag. It's the same thing as using Oda accessories, even though they don't give you direct affinity towards your own class. So I used Odas for months until Toshi's came, Yoshitsune's came, which gave you spear, affinity, and attack, etc., etc. So these are usable. So basically, if you do get the one for your own class, it's just better for you. But even if you only get one and you manage to play a whole bunch of events and gather all the thunder fragments and make the super mag at the end, you can still use it. People might question you, but you'll say, "Heh, it's all I got." Or you could just try and get the one you need. But we all know how the Nyankoropon is, and even though I rolled like hundreds of bucks yesterday trying to get Leviathan, I never got all the mags. I never got Staff Wand once. So these are the odds. Like, it's it's a gamble. So let me just finish reading this for a second here. So it gives you 15 chakra, 3 ornamentation slots. It gives you 20 rain. If you're level 115 or more, it gives you another 5 rain. If you're 125 or more, it gives you another 10 rain. So basically, you can equip this at 15 chakra at level 125 plus. You're going to get 35 rain, extra 1000 HP, and 5% SP. pretty decent. 5 affinity, it doesn't really matter. So realistically, let's show how to go about getting these extra fragments. So what you want to do is you want to go to, because a lot of people don't know how to get these fragments outside of events, and I wanted to showcase that before I just show up with the mag and talk about it, because this is a crucial step that not a lot of players are going to grasp. And they might just end up using these fragments for ornamentations, which, unless you know you're never going to actually make these mags, I don't really recommend doing those ornamentations. But in the end, I do have like a Senryu that I just put a bunch of ornaments on, and it's pretty decent. You ask, why does it ask for a lot of medals? Because they want you to suffer. They want you to use your soul eggs, and they want you to play the game every single day. They want you to use your energy restores. They want you to plan. Purgatory wants you to just play the crap out of this game. That's why. I mean, it's completely doable. Let's say you just only do hell, and you just want medals or whatever. Let's say you get your recipe, you only do hell, and this is just a side note. Let's say you get 40 medals a run, 40 treasures a run, you're looking at 100, 200 runs. You'd have to do 200 runs of Purgatory to get something, which is doable. It's a lot more Hades than I did, but it's just how it is. But going back to this, I do appreciate the comment. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Magatama Dissolution. Yeah, it should go Infernal, then Levin Lance, then eventually Sleet, 1 month at a time. And since we're on PS4, we're lucky we're not getting the event just for 2 weeks, or at least we shouldn't, and we should have a whole month at a time to go about these Purgatorio events. But to continue, what you want to do is you want to go to Magatama Dissolution. At this point, you want to make a decision, and that decision is, what class do I play? Yeah, that's a good math. Yeah, if you do your 3 Onis, which is 80, 80, 80, right? It's 80 times 3, so what is that number? 8 times 3 is 24. 240 plus 2 hells, that's like another 80, so 8 times 4, really. So $32. Yeah. So you'd get about 320 medals a day. Yeah, exactly. And then you'd multiply 320 times, let's say, 20 days on average. For an event, they're usually about 20 days. 20, 25 days. So, yeah, like it's gonna add up. Yeah, 25, yeah. I like these numbers are matching up. Exactly right. And even if you're short at the end, you just run it more. But even though, like, only 2 runs a day, like, Oni plus 2 runs, that's not bad. You're not killing yourself. That's just routine. And you're going to get better the more you do it, for sure. Absolutely. Appreciate those numbers, though. Always nice to have. So what I did was I already favorited my Monsoon Mag Axe Spear. And that's the one I'm going to build. So generally, I don't need these sword ones, and I don't need these twin bow ones. So I'm going to break them down. And what happens when you break them down is you get the balls inside of them. That's going to sound a little sexual, but think of it like a Kinder Surprise. So we asked Kaguya, please Kaguya, can you crush my balls? Yes, I want them. So you destroy it. And I got a Thundercloud Fragment. So that gets you an extra Thundercloud Fragment. You go, hey, can you crush my other ball? Yes, I can. And you get a Thunderstorm Cloud Fragment. A Celeste. I don't know what a Celeste is, but that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go to the Twin Sword one as well, and I'm going to break that down. And I'm going to get Thunderstorm Cloud. Break down the Twin Sword one. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to get a Thunderstorm Cloud Fragment. And then the last 2 Axe Spears, I'll break them down. Let's see what I get. And I got a Thunderstorm Gold Nugget. That's the first nugget we've gotten. break down the other one, and I get another nugget. So I don't think I have enough to make the mag right now, which means I'll have to like get it when events come out and stuff. But just to really take a second. Yeah, they are really good. I think they are really good. Especially, like, the Holy One, I made it for Spirit Blast Sublime with Frozen Hells, and it slaps hard. It was like, boom! You just see all these damage numbers, like, boom, 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 boom. It's super strong. Absolutely. With the White Brilliance, that thing was amazing. And now that we have Silhouette Weapon, Silhouette Weapons, and Water Dragon, Tidal Wave Sublime, things like that, they can add up a ton of extra damage. Like, I don't know how many ticks Tidal Wave Sublime is. Let's say it's like 36 ticks. If that's even, like, I don't know how much it is, but however many ticks Tidal Wave is, imagine, like, half of those did an extra million damage. Well, that's like an extra 10 million on your attack. Like, it's actually really, really good. And that's lowballing the number. For sure. And a general build you could probably do is like Silhouette, Chiami Rain, and then the mag. And you'd be like healing, doing extra damage. It would actually be a sick build. Like, I think that's what I do for... like, I think you can do that. I'm not 100% positive, but just... I don't know the numbers for sure, but I do something similar to that, and it's really, really powerful. So let's go to crafting and see what my numbers are and see what I have to look at for the future. Celeste gives you 25 ice? Oh, okay. Himono also gives you 25 ice and 25 fire. Don't know how much chakra Celeste is, but that's something you can consider. So these mags are going to be in your all filter, and you can't just target all. It's really weird. I'm trying to like shut off things, but you can't. Are they in the colorless pile? I think they are. Yes, that's what I meant, colorless. Holy God. But for some weird reason, the spear one is not in line with the others. Like, you have like Monsoon Sword, Sickle Moon, Monsoon, 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 and it's like really annoying. So if you go all the way down to the bottom, we learn that this is where the Monsoon mod axe pole is, and I cannot make it because I don't have enough of the Cloud Fragments and Thunderstorm Gold Nuggets to make it, and I'm going to need 1 more Cloud Fragment and 4 more Storm Gold Nuggets. And I don't know why, but currently on PS4, normally you can trade in your Daruma points to get like 1 or 2 of these a month. But when I checked last night, hopefully I wasn't just tired, I did not see the Thunderball fragment in here. But I could have swore I saw it in here months before. I don't know if the Daruma rotates or not. But they're all down here, and there's the Thunderfire Crystal, the Mountain Wind Schists, and the Efflorescent Blood, and the Gold Fleuret. And these you can buy for 100,000 Daruma points, and they restock every month. But the Monsoon mag that I'm talking about specifically right now does not show up here, which is weird, but the other ones do. I don't know if it's like a rotation thing or it's just our Point Daruma is underdeveloped or whatever the case. But I do know that in various exchange shops they show up, and if you want to pursue these mags, it will just take playing events every now and again and buying the balls. Before I used to always ignore them, to be honest. I didn't really care for them, but I started to see an appeal for these mags more so now that Skill Force is very easily capable with just two big mags and something else, and then your mod mag, and they can really help your DPS. I don't think they should be slept on anymore. I was essentially sleeping on them, but they are really good. Hey Javen, how you doing? I think they're very good mags. I think they are, especially a rain one, considering I've used rain like my entire life. I think they're very, very, very important. And I would encourage us... I haven't looked at the Leviathan Exchange Shop yet. I haven't done the story or the event enough. But if these balls show up in exchange shops, I would recommend just farming a little bit harder to make sure you pick them up every event, because you never know if some new skill is going to come out, or some new sublime, or some underrated skill gets buffed, and it's like, oh my god, like, imagine if Stone Spire Barrier was actually like super amazing, and the thing ticks 15 times at point blank, and I had the Mountain Mod Mag, and now the move goes from doing, let's say, 7 million damage to like 20 million damage. Like, that would be a big deal. Like, with multi-hit moves being the king they are right now, with damage cap holding back single-hit moves, anything that buffs your multi-hit moves to such a degree is actually very, very, very desirable. And a counterpoint is, when I'm talking single-hit moves, I'm not talking about easily spammable moves, because I know someone is going to say, hey, Fireball with a fire mod is really good because it has a really low cooldown, and on my wand I can go Fireball, Fireball, Inferno, Fireball, Fireball, Inferno, Fireball, Sublime, and then I can do the other Sublime, Hellfire Sublime, and I don't know the name of it, but the Crimson Ray Sublime, holy god. And they could be like, well, Wand's Fire is a lot of single hit, but you can use it so fast that it actually makes a difference. I agree. I agree. But what I'm really like talking about is moves like Collapsing Blade that have a long cooldown. Like, we don't have a dark mod yet, but if we did, it would only really be good with like moves like Day 10 Ryu Force or Abyssal Embrace, Universal Ogies like that. They would actually make those moves a lot more viable. Absolutely, because they're multi-hit. Like, I'm talking moves like Verdant Storm, which these moves used to be super good. Verdant Storm, Icicle Punish... Is it Icicle Punishment? No, Icicle Punishment would benefit from this. Blistering Ice Wave is what I'm talking about. Icicle Punishment, Blistering Ice Wave, Inferno Crave, all of those strong single-hit moves like Exorcist Arrow. But if moves that have quick cooldown like Cursed Arrow, Fireball, Rapid Shot, things like that. If we ever got a Pierce Element multiplier, holy god, like things, it would be game-changing. Yes, Anime, you can ask anything you want. For sure, dude. I think we are at the tail end of this guide, though I did want to show a method to get more of the balls and stuff. Something else I'll tell you guys as a pro tip. Okay, I'll show it to you in a second. While Anime asks me this question. I'm going to show you guys something. I invested in this years ago, and I never did anything with it. And I just forgot about it. But this is a pro tip, okay? This is for people who watch to the end of the video. So if you go to Magatama Dissolution, I can't sort by chakra, but I can sort by name, because I know what mag this is. There is a way to trade the balls to other people. I believe, I hope that I'm not talking out my ass here, but I believe this is something you can do. I think we've done this before. But I bought a sparrow off of someone. It was in the Nyankoropon. It was in the, not the Nyankoropon, the bazaars. Someone was selling this mag. It was a sparrow, and I looked at it. I'm like, why is someone selling a sparrow? And I looked at it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I gotta find it here. It's in my inventory somewhere. Dun 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 dun. Find terror, no. There it is. This sparrow I have is ornamented with Inevitable Last Stand. I'm pretty sure that if you break a mag that has a special Nyankoropon ball fragment, whatever, ornamentation on it, I'm pretty sure if you break it down, you do get the ball back. And I just had this and I never did anything with it. So right now this is either a pro tip or a myth bust. So we're going to see if that happens. Like this sparrow, I'm not going to use it. But it does have the Inevitable Last Stand 1 ornamentation on it. So I'm going to try and break it down and see if I get the ball back. This is what I've heard, so we're going to find out. If it works, it works. If If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Andrew's saying no, it doesn't work. We're gonna find out. I really don't care. There's a 30% chance? Alright. That's a good number. Let's see what happens. I got a Tart Peach. It's horrible. Anyway. So, myth busted. So he's saying it's a 30% chance to get it back. I believe it. Wait. You know what? I probably should have did an ornamentation removal. That would have been smarter. Because we had done that before before ornamentation removal happened. Oh my god. So yeah, that would have happened for sure. So that's something you could do. Oh well. So it is risky. But let's say, for example, you had a friend that had these balls that didn't want them, and you said, hey, can you ornament like a sparrow with it and I'll buy it off you? Or whatever. And it'd be like, okay, and then I'll rip off the ornamentation. You could try that if you wanted. Like, let's say you had a friend who absolutely did not want this stuff. They had it. You could even probably sell this stuff in the Nyan and say, hey, I have, like, I have this stuff. And you could remove it. I probably messed that up, but whatever. I don't need those balls anyway. But, but yeah, it's ornamentation removal. Japers. That makes more sense. So if you had something like this Senryu and you wanted to take off the ornamentations, then yeah, you could. Like, let me just look at it. I'm not going to do it, but let me look at it. I don't have an ornament. Oh, I have to collect a slot. Okay. So what does it say? So the myth was that you could break them down. So yeah, so it says you could get one ball, one fleuret. Let's say I wanted to do it. I don't have any items because they're all in storage. And you're saying it's a 30% chance. Interesting. But that is something you can do. So it's removal. Someone had told me dissolution. What? I want to ornament it. Oh, whatever. But that's a good point. Oh well. But yeah, like that is something you could do. Like, just to elaborate a little bit further, I know that I very rarely crash